conversation.
We did 10 to 15 million dollars improvement on the city property in John Muir Hospital. Yes, you can do that. We changed all the lights, we improved the, we added lane. You guys have seen it. We did $15 million addition that we were not supposed to do just to make the neighbors and the community happy in John Muir.
So what's your point?
My point is you can do whatever you want to. You can add a couple of $100,000 and improve all these cities and the lights and the signs.
Sure. No, the city can't, this school cannot do any of those things you're talking about without an agreement with the city.
Okay,
The lights, whether it comes to the change in the number of students, whether it comes in any of these things, the change in the parking lot. The city is going to have to approve that as a part of the master plan for this
Tell us
project.
how you're going to fit 750 students plus faculty into 200 spaces. That's the trick I want to know.
Okay, first of all, that's not the way it works. The school right now has 221 spaces on-site. We have measured this parking, and the parking on this, there is never, during the typical school day, more than 120 cars parked in that lot. Hey, listen,
I come down here tomorrow, I'll count more than 120.
Okay, come on down here. At any one time, there are never more than 120 cars. If you find more than that, we would like to know.
I could go to Google and show you 300 cars.
Okay, then show it to me.
I'll show it to you.
It's not the case.
I'll show you more than 120
Come on, folks. I mean, listen, we're not going to do any good if we're going to have this one-on-one. Yes, sir. What's your question?
Okay, now, you're going to have Friday night lights here, okay? With the field out here with lights and everything, okay? You have you're going to have football games here. Okay, now you have students parking here. Where are their grandparents, their aunts or uncles going to park when they come to the games?
Visitors.
We made parking and traffic studies at the event at this school that was the maximum traffic and parking for the whole year. It was a football game with Salesian High School last November.
Nighttime?
It was Saturday afternoon. And the traffic and the parking overflowed the parking lot. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
In addition to the 220 cars on the lot, there were another 60 along El Divisadero, and there were another 70 cars that went down. No, they're not parked illegally. They're parked. Well, some of them may have parked, but they were not parked illegally on the streets. They're public streets. And you know what? One of the things that's going to have to come as a part of this project.
You better go back and do some research. You cannot park a car permanently on these streets. They are illegal.
No, nobody
Go back to the city and check it out.
On no street in the city can you park.
Yeah, I cannot park in front of my car legally, though. I'm doing it illegally.
You can leave it there 72 hours. That's
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so
so it's not parking. It's not illegal parking.
Well, the school is not contributing to that problem. That is your problem as a resident.
No, I just want to make sure you say they are legal parked. I just want to make it clear
they are legally
parked.
parked during the events that they come to.
Sir, 2 questions.
Yes.
First.
Oh, just a second.
Let's
He had his hand up.
Yeah, sir, I'm sorry. I feel like you were not properly introduced respectfully. I didn't catch your name or the name of the company you represent. And I was wondering also, were you affiliated with the mayor's office of Walnut Creek previously?
My name is Charlie Abrams.
Yes.
I am a traffic engineer, and I've been doing this kind of work for 30 years. I have previously been on the city council and was the mayor of Walnut Creek.
Okay, have you been retained by Berean?
I am no longer the mayor, so therefore, at this time, I can now actually work on projects within the city. I didn't before because there was conflict. Okay? So
thank you for introducing yourself.
Okay.
You asked one last question.
We're jumping around. I mean, what question do you want to answer? At least let me finish my answer to some of the other questions before we get bombarded with another. Okay. This gentleman here is.
2 questions.
Okay.
One is, what is your prediction with 750 students, what the parking on the street is going to be? Very simple. You gave 60 and 70 or something like that. And the second is, do you live across the street?
I do.
That's an important question.
No, it isn't.
We just purchased a house
We live across the street. It is to us.
Okay, and we want to know how we're going to be impacted, and we want to know your level of empathy
with what happens in this immediate neighborhood.
I live in Walnut Creek.
I
I
don't
live a
care
half a
about
block
Walnut
away
Creek.
from Foothill School, which is 3 times the size of Berean Christian, has traffic problems that would bypass anything that you have ever dealt with.
No children driving.
That is the truth and the facts.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion,
Yes, they
but
are.
you come on out here any morning,
I have.
and we're gonna have at least 300 to 400 cars coming up and down here, tap and go, San Antonio, El Divisadero, parents, students doing it. This is gonna occur several times a day. It's already occurring several times a day. Now you want to increase the enrollment, increase the athletic sporting events. It's a huge impact to our neighborhood, so yes, we do want some empathy.
And that's what these studies are going to show. How much of an
Okay.
impact is it really?
When I take out of my street in the morning, it's a huge impact, plain and simple. And there are 24 houses stopped
It's
on
hard to
that
pull out of
street.
the driveway.
We're not talking about the people on San Benito, we're not talking about the people on El
Just up.
Divisadero, we're not talking about the people coming out of San Carlos. You're talking about a major choke point, and you are now going to more than triple the size? It makes no sense.
Then I would invite you to come out with me any morning and watch
I have
this traffic.
stood there, Charlie.
Oh, come on.
I have stood
You are
there.
exaggerating.
No, I'm not. I have stood there every morning and counted
Oh, you
cars.
asked me.
Get an independent traffic
Yes.
study.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Abrams does not have.
All right. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us what your plans are for parking and traffic and what you've determined, and if you could link it up with the phases, that would be helpful.
I can tell you what's going on right now and what will happen with engrossing the school, probably,
Okay.
whenever that happens.
So
Right
tell
now-
us what you think is going
Right now, there are
on.
221 parking spaces on site.
Okay.
When the project is finished and there will probably be about 240 parking spaces on site. Not a big difference. But, the problem is that this school could accommodate on its property right now this 750 enrollment, if that ever occurred. It is not going to occur. All 700, look, right now with 400 students in the school.
391.
Well, you can throw away whatever. There are 400 on the average that come here. On the average in the morning, during the peak hour, there are 230 cars that drive onto the site. 100 of them leave, and about 120 of them stay here and park. That is what happens with 400. Okay?
So
You can count them yourself or show
I
me
have
the
a
data.
question.
Yes.
We've lived in our neighborhood on San Benito for about 16 years. And how come there's no speed bumps in front of the school or a sign that even has the speed in front of a school? Most public schools have a speed limit sign. Some schools even have flashing signs that say when school's in session. I know that's probably kind of juvenile for a high school, but how come, does the city have to approve the speed bumps on the street?
Yes.
I think that would slow a lot of these kids and adults down.
Then that's a program that as a neighborhood you should take to the city. And then they will do a little study and determine whether that's
But the
worth.
school
I would agree with you.
The school cannot bring it to the city as a concern of the school for the safety of the students and
No.
the neighborhood?
No, that's got to come from the neighbor.
Okay.
The school is one of the neighbors who would join in that process. But it's not up to them to do that.
Thank you. Right now, a bunch of the students do come by the school bus. They have 2 school buses. I imagine if the population increases, there'll be more. Where are you going to put the school buses? Where is there space for them to be parked overnight? And also when they have visitors for sports events, they usually park in front of my house, but is there going to be accommodations for the buses, both the visiting teams and the schools?
Right now, you know, on that day that
No, on every day
that the
basis.
event was made, there's usually, as you say, 2 school buses.
Here in the parking lot.
Right, and on certain days when there's special events, that number jumps up to 4. On the day of that big football game, there were actually 10 buses here. They didn't all park in the school grounds, but about 6 of them did. Found spaces much like they do right now.
So these are the neighborhood comments where you'd say, we need to specify bus parking areas on our plans.
Right, and that's what we do happen as a
That's part of the process. Let's do this. Let's have 3 more questions. So,
how do we decide?
You in the back, I haven't heard from you, I haven't seen you, so you just got here late.
Just a quick statement or question, which is basically with the possible increase, and then, to me it seems like something can be done now. Can't we basically get the city to basically tag those areas so that you have to have a sticker to be parked during the daytime hours? Because it just sounds like this is where the problem comes from.
Yes, you do. There's residential permit process.
So to me, it seems like that seems like an intelligent thing, making an F sticker kind of thing that, you know, same thing you see in Berkeley or San Francisco, that you can't be there more than an hour if you don't have a sticker.
That's one of the things that could be.
He doesn't have that.
Okay, I'll take it. Man with the sunglasses, then you at the last. Sorry.
Yeah, let me introduce myself. I used to be president of the San Miguel Association a long time ago, and I was also city council. And it sounds like you're not familiar with the process and what you're going to go through when this gets to the city. And you get 3 minutes, and then you sit down and thank you, goodbye. That's the process. So you have to understand what is going to happen ultimately in the end. I would be very happy to give you the benefit of my experience being on in Rancho San Miguel and on the city council in terms of how to deal with this situation, because the way it's dealt with right here in this room isn't going to be what you're going to be facing. So
Thank you for that.
I volunteer to help this group. Thank you.
Okay, last question there, sorry.
This little school was built in 58 to be a tiny little K through 6 school to serve the needs of this little tiny community of Rancho San Miguel. It wasn't meant to accommodate a bloated student body like this at the high school. They just can't. We don't have the room. We don't have the traffic.
You know, this may be your picture of this dainty little school, but nonetheless, a public school, any elementary school in the Mount Diablo School District is designed for as many as 600 students. And every school in Walnut Creek has at least that many. So your vision of this little school was never.
It was an elementary school.
I said elementary school.
Walnut Acres took all these children plus their own, and Walnut Acres has never been more than like 750. So they took all these kids and who they already had. When this school closed, they all went to Walnut Acres, correct?
Well, they split up in many years.
No, I believe they all went to Walnut Acres.
How come, I'm just going to make one statement. How come the wise people in Walnut Creek City put a restriction of 400 students max to this campus in 1986?
I have no idea.
Oh, you didn't know that?
At the time, that's
it's in public record. They put a maximum of 400 students in this campus.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are in a violation anyway. 440 something?
440.
Yeah.
I think.
So, do we have one clarification about